If I could prescribe only one remedy for all the ills of the modern world, I would prescribe silence. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true, the other is to refuse to believe what is true. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. I found I had less and less to say, until finally, I became silent and began to listen. I discovered in the silence the voice of God. People demand freedom of speech as a compensation for the freedom of thought which they seldom use. It is better to try something and fail than to try nothing and succeed. The result may be the same, but you won't be. We always grow more through defeats than victories. People settle for a level of despair they can tolerate and call it happiness. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Take a chance and you may lose. Take not a chance and you have lost already. Hope is passion for what is possible. Christ was crucified because he would have nothing to do with the crowd, even though he addressed himself to all. He did not want to form a party, an interest group, a mass movement, but wanted to be what he was, the truth, which is related to the single individual. Therefore, everyone who will genuinely serve the truth is by that very fact a martyr. To win a crowd is no art, for that only untruth is needed, nonsense, and a little knowledge of human passions. But no witness to the truth dares to get involved with the crowd. The minority is always stronger than the majority, because the minority is generally formed by those who really have an opinion. Above all, do not lose your desire to walk. Every day, I walk myself into a state of well-being and walk away from every illness. I have walked myself into my best thoughts, and I know of no thought so burdensome that one cannot walk away from it. But by sitting still, and the more one sits still, the closer one comes to feeling ill. Thus, if one just keeps on walking, everything will be all right. The Bible is very easy to understand. But we Christians are a bunch of scheming swindlers. We pretend to be unable to understand because we know very well that the minute we understand, we are obliged to act accordingly. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. Geniuses are like thunderstorms, they go against the wind, terrify people, clear the air. Do it or don't do it, you will regret both. The question is not to be or not to be, it is what we should be until we are not. The unhappy person is never present to themselves because they always live in the past or the future. Wherever there is a crowd, there is untruth. Our life always expresses the result of our dominant thoughts. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. The more people who believe something, the more apt it is to be wrong. The person who's right often has to stand alone. Confidence is the present tense of hope.
Please subscribe my channel.